Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. Here is the Z107.7 Local News for Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. The Morongo Basin Sheriff's Station reports that a deputy-involved shooting occurred Monday night in Yucca Valley, leaving one person hospitalized. The Sheriff's Department says that their Specialized Investigations Division is currently investigating a case near Joshua Lane and Joshua Drive in Yucca Valley. The department says that there was an officer-involved shooting during a call for assault with a deadly weapon at around 11:15 p.m. Monday night. The department says that no deputies were injured and one civilian is being treated for injuries at a hospital. The Sheriff's Department says that they will provide more information as the investigation continues. A 29 Palms man was arrested for investigation into assault after allegedly shooting into a car near his property. On Monday at approximately 4:36 p.m., deputies from the Sheriff's Morongo Basin Station responded to a report of shots fired near Indian Trail and Meldora Avenue in 29 Palms. According to a press release from the Morongo Basin Sheriff's Station, 3 people in a gray Dodge Ram were attempting to turn around on Cove View Road after encountering private property signs when they say their vehicle was hit by gunfire. Deputies say a bullet penetrated the passenger side door and embedded in the front seat. The victims fled the area and were able to identify the suspect's residence with the assistance of aerial photographs provided by Sheriff's Aviation. Deputies located the residence and ultimately detained the suspect, who deputies later identified as Andrew Gaskill, 46. A search warrant was served at the property, and deputies say they recovered multiple firearms, including the rifle believed to have been used in the shooting. They also recovered a shotgun, a handgun, and an AR-style rifle. Andrew Gaskill was arrested on suspicion of assault with a firearm and has since been released on bail. A man was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after allegedly firing a gun into a crowd of people in 29 Palms. On Thursday, at around 9:40 a.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies, along with the California Highway Patrol and San Bernardino County Fire, responded to a report of a shooting at the Adobe Villas apartment complex on Raymond Drive in 29 Palms. Deputies say that Shandar Washington, a 26-year-old resident of the apartment complex, discharged a firearm at a group of 3 people, then fled on foot. No one was injured, and there was no property damage. Deputies say Washington fled on foot and that they were unable to locate him. On Friday, deputies located Washington near the intersection of Cactus Drive and Adobe Road in 29 Palms, and they say he was taken into custody without incident. Shandar Washington was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder, and he was booked into the West Valley Detention Center on $200,000 bail. Washington is expected to be arraigned in San Bernardino County Superior Court this morning. Though he was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder, he is not being charged with that crime in court. He is being charged with 3 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm on person, with enhancements for the type of weapon used and previous violent felony convictions. The Yucca Valley Town Council has approved the list of designees for Measure Y partnership funding for the next fiscal year. Here is reporter Adeline J. Wells with the first of her 2 updates from last night's meeting.
Following a presentation on the upcoming Grubstake Days, the Yucca Valley Town Council meeting began with a public hearing concerning the collection of solid waste handling charges on the tax roll for the upcoming fiscal year. The town's agreement with Vertec has expanded due to the implementation of organics recycling under SB 1383. Despite the 33% increase in collection services, the new year would see an approximate 4.9% increase in rates. The council voted to approve the resolution. Lieutenant Al Huff gave a presentation on the Flock camera system, which uses license plate recognition to gather information about vehicles suspected of criminal involvement. The system collects objective details that law enforcement can specifically search for in an investigation. It does not have facial recognition or speed tracking mechanisms. Flock is utilized by over 400 law enforcement agencies, including 29 Palms and most other jurisdictions in San Bernardino County. Lieutenant Huff highlighted how the system has helped solve crimes in the region and in Yucca Valley itself.
As we all recall, in January 2024, we had a fatal hit and run on Avalon and 62 involving Mr. Ibarra. The reason we were able to locate that suspect and where he took his vehicle down to Riverside County was merely because of the Flock system. And that's how we were able to track this guy, locate the owner, identify that he was a local business owner, take him in custody, and obviously facing charges on that.
The council directed town staff to prepare a proposal for the flock system implementation. Town staff then presented the proposed designations for Measure Y partnership funding for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. The Revenue Measure Oversight Commission reviewed 34 applications for funding, of which they selected 8 to be awarded various amounts totaling $100,000. Recipients receiving the most funds include the Boys and Girls Club of the High Desert, the High Desert Pregnancy Clinic, and the Morongo Basin Tennis Association. All 8 recipients attended and thanked the council for the funding awards. The latter half of the 4-hour meeting was dedicated to the second update on the 90-day operational review of the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter, as well as associated public comment. Town staff announced the review at the March 4th meeting following public concern about shelter practices. Deputy Town Manager Shane Stuckel presented the report, which listed actions the town has taken since March to improve operations, including weekly updates of adoptable animals online, scheduling special adoptions and a low-cost spay-neuter event, and outreach to rescue groups. Stuckel said that the town is hiring additional staff, and Human Resources is looking into policy to create volunteer and foster programs. There were over 20 public comments concerning the matter. Several attendees spoke favorably about the new initiatives while raising continued concerns about the shelter management and delays in the volunteer program. This is the first of 2 stories concerning the Yucca Valley Town Council meeting. Tune in tomorrow for a deeper dive into the update on the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter operational review and the public and council reactions. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Adeline J. Wells.
The 29 Palms Planning Commission met last night to discuss electric vehicle charging stations. And most in attendance were concerned that these charging stations should not drain power from the existing grid. Here's Annalise Kuiper with more details.
First off, the Planning Commission of the City of 29 Palms approved a resolution recommending that the City Council amend the Development Code, establishing ancillary uses, commercial activities, and entertainment of the City of 29 Palms Development Code. During the study session that followed, the commissioners discussed the matter of electric vehicle charging stations and came up with questions and queries that need to be studied further. Of most concern was that the charging stations should not drain the power grid and cause nearby businesses or residences to lose electrical power. The commissioners agreed that solar energy would be the way to go for EV charging stations. State law, adopted in 2015, allows the development of EV charging stations in any zoning district, subject to the issuance of a building permit. There is no additional land use approval required from the Planning Division. This language is not reflected in the Development Code. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Annalise Kuiper.
And finally, if your California driver's license or ID doesn't have a bear and a star in the corner, you may have trouble boarding flights or even entering government buildings starting today. Online news editor Robert Hayden joins us with info on the Real ID and the documents you need to get one.
Beginning Wednesday, May 7th, you will need a Real ID compliant driver's license or another acceptable form of identification to board domestic flights or enter certain federal facilities, including courthouses and military bases. After the deadline, those without a Real ID must present a valid U.S. passport, passport card, permanent resident card, or trusted traveler card. The California Department of Motor Vehicles is responsible for issuing Real IDs. One key document often needed for the application is a certified copy of your birth certificate. The Assessor Recorder Clerk's Office can help by providing certified copies of birth certificates for those born in San Bernardino County. Morongo Basin residents can request those records in person on the second and fourth Wednesday of each month. The ARC team will visit the Bob Berg Government Center at 63665 29 Palms Highway in Joshua Tree again on Tuesday, May 14th, offering assistance with vital records and more. Appointments are not necessary, but are recommended and can be made by visiting the ARC website at arc.sbcounty.gov. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.